I got a Bible on today, and I'm very excited about this one. As you all saw with my last video, I switched over to the ESV there's a bunch of reasons. I kind of went over a few in my last video, why I switched to the ESV from the NASB, and I'll probably do a more in-depth video on that and just show you some reasons why, and give you some more I guess reasons why I switched, better reasons, I guess more scholarly reasons, if that's the word to use, but there's reasons why I switched to the ESV, and one of the main ones really for me was not that the NASB is a bad translation. It's not at all. It's a great translation. It's just the flow of the ESV is kind of like the flow of the King James, and that's what I'm used to. And it was hard for me for like a year and a half. It was easy to study with the NASB, especially with all the features, but to just read it as just reading time, a little clunky for me. So I went with the ESV for my overall main Bible. But this is the ESV with the Creeds and Confessions. I love what they did with the hubs. Those hubs are very pronounced. Now, I noticed that some people said that the ribs are a little bit short, but I noticed when I was feeling it, they're tapered on the ends. They could have went a little bit longer, but that's actually angled at the end, on this one at least. I'm thinking that's what they were trying to achieve, and they just didn't go as far as they should have. But for me, it looks good. I think it makes it more pronounced. Look at those hubs. Looks really nice. The goat skin reminds me of Skylar. The liner reminds me of the liner they use for the long primer. The blue, when they use the blue, this is not blue, but when the long primer uses the navy blue, I think it's the calfskin they use on the long primers, on their Highland goatskin editions. That's exactly what this feels like. And this thing is just super, super soft. Just very supple, very supple. I love it. It's just really nice. And what this is just the Omega with a larger print with the Confessions and Creeds in the back, which we'll get to in a second. But I've noticed that it seems like the print on here is a little bit bolder, and I know it's 10.5 rather than just 10 point, which I'll show the Omega here in a second. And I seem to like the paper better on the Chinese production than I do on the Youngblood production. The same with the Preacher's Bible. That's some of my favorite papers on the Preacher's Bible. It's just a Bible that, like I said, I'm used to verse by verse. This is not verse by verse, but I wanted it as a Bible because of the information in the back, which let me get to that. But I seem to like the paper. There's less ghosting in this paper than there is in the Youngblood product, which kind of threw me off a little bit. And it might just be a trick of the eye just because of larger text. But 0.5, would that make a big difference? And of course, it's line matched. But you do have your concordance. But the star of the show on this one really is all the confessions in the back. And so you got your Apostles' Creed, Nicene Creed, and then, what I really like is you have the larger and shorter Catechism of the Westminster Confession, and then, of course, the Westminster Confession. The one I adhere to so far, as I'm studying the Confessions and studying it out, I would subscribe to the London Baptist Confession. But all of them, I'm still studying all those things. I'm still on a journey, guys. But you have all those, and they're in the same, I believe it's either 10 or 10.5. I believe it's the same size text as the Bible. And it looks like it, too. Let me see if I can get a better picture of that. Yeah, and so it looks like when you're going through the creeds, it's going to be the same size print. So it's like a large print with all the creeds and the catechism and confessions and all that good stuff. I was really impressed with the red, that darker. It's kind of like that salmon color, but a little bit darker. I think they did a really good job. And of course, you got your red gilt, your art gilt line, your gold gilt line. Now, like everybody else has probably said, and you probably heard already, they could have done at least 3 ribbons on here. 2's good enough, but 3 would have been nice. Double satin ribbons. That doesn't cost much at all. That costs less than, I would say, probably $3 or $5 for each Bible to do that. And they could have had something like that done. So I could see some room in it for improvement on their future premium Bibles. let me give you an example why I think that the Chinese version, let me just see if this is, there we go. If you look at it, you'll actually see more ghosting. The camera, this is the horrible thing about cameras, but you'll see it's almost bleeds through, but it's not bleeding through, but the camera makes it almost look like it's bleeding through, but it's not with the naked eye. But this actually does a better job. This paper I like better. I do, personally. This is my personal opinion. So this is the 80th anniversary, I think. Yeah, 80th anniversary, and this is the limited edition in the vintage brown. So this is the one that comes with the Beresford ribbons rather than those other skinny ribbons. But I personally like this better. Another thing I like a bit better about this than I do the Omega Thin Line from Youngblood is I like the way this one lays. I have even broke this in, and it just lays flat. Let's see how it does in Genesis. Just lays flat. They did a wonderful job. And another thing I can say they do better than Youngblood in this, well, I don't know if it's better until you really wear it in and see it fall apart. There's more stitches when they're Smythe sewing the Bible. Stitches all the way up. I think there's like, we can count them here in a second. Let me see here. See if there's a place I can count those. Of course, it's 2016 text. You have your presentation pages. And I got a little guy in the background. Let's see here. Where's a good spot? I want to see those stitches. I want to say it's like 5, 6, or I've seen 8 on one of them before. So let's just count here. So here's one stitch down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm actually doubling the count. So there's at least probably 6 or 7 stitches, whereas on a Youngblood product, you're not going to get near as many. Doesn't mean it's better. I'm not saying that, but I would think it would be more durable with that many more stitches in the Smith sewn edition. Now, I do like the color of the paper on the Youngblood better, though. Can't really see the stitching area, but from what I can see, it looks like maybe 4 or 5 marks. I would say this has at least 6 or 7, possibly 8. So yeah, this, if you are looking for a Bible that has the Confessions and Creeds and you're into the ESV, I would definitely get this. I would definitely get this. I wouldn't hesitate. The only thing is, if you don't like, if you're that big on ribbons, then I would learn how to change them out and change them out. But overall, man, this is a really, really, really nice Bible. I'm glad to have it. I appreciate Crossway for sending it, and it will go to good use. Definitely go to good use. So, until next time, guys, good day. God bless.